Hey friends, the film spreads out in the Panama jungle, where a lovely sloth is seen suspending on a tree trunk and eating leaves. All of a rash, and cute alligator snatches it and takes it inside the river. The water shortly turns red and it seems as if the sloth has passed away. Surprisingly, it makes it to survive and swims out of the water undamaged. But it is shortly sedated by some poachers, who then take it away in a sack. As they quit, the camera pans to the water, showing us the deceased body of the cute alligator. Turns out the darling sloth has killed the cute alligator with its razor-sharp claws. The stage then cuts to two sexy college students, Emily and Madison, who are visiting a mall. While wandering around, they lament about not having accomplished much in their 4 years, though they are component of a sorority. They simultaneously stalk the social media profile of their well-known college gorgeous president, Brianna, who has more than 30,000 followers. Emily actually wishes for to be the next president, but at the identical moment, she doesn't have the stomach or guts to play against the famous sexy Brianna. Madison attempts to stimulate her, pointing out that just because Brianna has followers doesn't mean she has buddies. On the opposite, Emily has both buddies as well as a beautiful boyfriend. Amidst their discussion, Emily unexpectedly notices a dog on the loose, which is about to get crashed by a kid on a bike. She fast makes a run and saves the dog from the accident. Her heroism is noticed by a passerby, who transpires to be the same poacher from earlier. He asks if she's a pet lover, to which she affirms. He then shows her his social media in which he has published some cute pictures of sloth. He also hands her his card, informing her to contact him if she's thinking about getting a strange animal. After all, cute, furry creatures are great for scoring popularity points. In the following stage, we see Brianna entering the sorority home, with a dominant mindset. Nobody has sufficiently boldness to speak against her despite her arrogant and rude behavior, as she's the most popular girl of the college. It's presently election time, and Brianna is running for re-election as sorority president. Meanwhile, Emily and Madison also arrive with their belongings to move into their new senior rooms. Later that sunset, Emily stands in front of a board with pictures of all ex-presidents. Among them, one is of her mama. While looking at it, she's approached by a sorority in charge, Mayflower. Emily asks her if her mama was a fine president. Mayflower replies that she was one of the kindest presidents till date, as she used to prioritize her buddies before anyone else. Acknowledging Emily to be kind as her mother, she suggests that she run for the president, but the latter is still not confident. The exact night, Emily stalks through Brianna's profile and comes across some pictures with wild pets. This makes her acknowledge that it's the pet that can help her gain popularity and compete against Brianna. At this point, she recalls the earlier guy from the mall, so she texts him. In reaction, the guy sends her an address, asking her to come over in the morning. Later, he decides to bring out the sloth for a small walk before giving it away to Emily. That's when the sloth shows its genuine colors and kills him brutally. The following sunrise, Emily drives towards the given location, but she discovers nobody there. She proceeds to knock on the door, only to find it open. She gradually enters the place and discovers the innocent-looking sloth in the center of the room. Since there's no one around, Emily takes the sloth and drives back. Upon reaching at the sorority house, she tries to head directly to her room without showing her new pet to anyone. However, her path is blocked by Brianna, who insists on to know what's in the box. When Emily hesitates, Brianna grabs the box from her and throws it down the stairs. Subsequent this, the cute-looking sloth makes its way out of the box, leaving everyone in awe. Emily fast runs downstairs to protect and pet it. Meanwhile, Brianna can't stand that everyone's attention is snatched by the sloth, so she claims that pets aren't authorized in the sorority house. However, Emily counters that pets are permitted if they make it their mascot. All the girls vote in her favor, leaving Brianna very furious. In expansion, Emily announces that she'll be running for president this year. Unlike everyone, Madison thinks that it's a horrible idea to keep a poached wild animal out of its habitat, so she urges her to take it to a rescue shelter. However, Emily ignores her concern, asserting that it possesses no harm to anyone, as it's an innocent animal. Later, Emily's other buddy Zenny comes to her room, and the two name the sloth as Alpha. One sunset, Emily is organizing for a party when she notices news regarding the poacher's death. This disturbs her for a point, but she opts to ignore it for now. Later, while she goes for a shower, the sloth climbs up the computer table and onsets using her laptop. It appears that the darling sloth is well trained to utilize the modern appliances. It goes through Emily's social media profile and shortly gets triggered by an image of her with the poacher from the mall. On the different hand, the jealous Brianna teaches one of her girls, Ava, to get rid of the sloth. Later at the party, Ava borrows Alpha for a while, under the pretense of petting it. Nonetheless, she privately takes the sloth out in the rain and abandons it on the roadside. Thereupon Ava returns to the party and starts up to hook up with a guy. Undisclosed to her, the cute sloth is well trained and smart, dissimilar the other pets. It makes its way back to the party and sneaks into her room. While Ava is engaged with the guy, Alpha puts something sedative in her drink. Soon after, she reaches to her room and sips the drink, generating her to feel dizzy. As she falls down to the floor, the pervert sloth jumps on her and mutilates her with its sharp claws. After the party, Emily begins searching for Ava and her pet, but she can't find them. Upon searching the whole vicinity for a while, she returns to her room with a sad expression. She lies down on her bed when the sloth unexpectedly shows up. Although Emily is initially frightened, she feels relieved upon seeing it. She instantly hugs it without noticing that blood is leaking from its sharp nails. As election day nears, Brianna starts up to fall apart because her plan of becoming president for the third time is slowly failing. On the contrary, Emily's popularity boosts due to her pet. Amidst these passing days, the sloth goes on a killing spree, enforcing the sorority girls one after another. The others wonder where those girls have gone, but they don't perceive it as a severe issue. One day before the election, Alpha is appreciating its sunbath with a beer when Madison shows up. Seeing it alone, she determines that it's time to rescue the animal and send it to its biological habitat. But just before she can take it away, Emily spots her and notifies her that she needs it. Madison attempts to explain that it's not right, but this only ensues an argument between the two best buddies. Amidst this, the sloth grabs Madison's phone and throws it in the center of the street. She goes to pick it up, but things take a tragic turn as she gets fucked by a speeding vehicle. Shortly after, Madison is hurried to the hospital, and she's accompanied by Emily. Dominated with guilt, Emily apologizes to her and swears to send the sloth away. Just then, she obtains a text from Brianna, telling her to reach at the sorority house before midnight or else she'll lose the presidency. Emily doesn't want to leave her best buddy alone, but the latter convinces her to go and win the title. Next Emily races back to the sorority house and arrives there just in time. She carelessly changes her dress and heads to the election venue, mistakenly leaving her phone in her room. Shortly after, the voting session begins, and Emily watches it nervously. By this point of moment, Alpha has already destroyed 2 more girls, Alyssa and Dakota. It also loots Emily's phone and learns of Madison's whereabouts. It then grabs her car keys and drives towards the hospital. Once there, it sneaks into Madison's ward room and cuts off the oxygen flow. Then, it takes a selfie before beginning to choke her with a pillow. But before the sloth can end her off, the nurse arrives and saves Madison. Back at the sorority house, Emily wins the election, making her overjoyed. The girls then start up to party, while Brianna steps away in anger. She heads to Alyssa's room, only to reach across her lifeless body. Sometime later, Emily goes to use the bathroom when she hears the screaming voice of Brianna. She rushes to the origin and discovers the sloth attacking her. Sensing the urgency of the problem, she attacks the animal from behind before fleeing to the bathroom. While hiding, Brianna blames Emily for all of these murders, but the latter claims that she didn't know the sloth was so destructive. After a while of consideration, the 2 of them cautiously make their way out. Shortly after, they're furthermore attacked by the sloth, but Emily organizes to throw it out of the window. Despite this, it survives and enters back inside the building. On the different hand, the rest of the girls are appreciating their shower party when the sloth shows up. It manipulates the wires and electrocutes a bunch of them jointly. Back to Emily, she locates a gun from one of the girls' rooms, which she takes for safety. Nonetheless, she soon bumps into Brianna's manager, resulting in her to drop the gun. Before Emily can pick up the firearm, the sloth launches its aggression and drags the girl away. This sets Emily in panic, so she runs upstairs to hide in a room. Meanwhile, Mayflower, who had fallen asleep after getting drunk, wakes up to see blood on the floor. Seconds later, she's startled by Alpha, whose claws are filled with blood. Similarly, she also notices the lifeless body of a sorority girl in a corner. Smelling the danger, she instantly grabs a wooden plank and frequently bashes into the sloth's head. Once it stops shifting, Mayflower goes in search of the girls and discovers Emily hiding inside a room. Glimpsing the in-charge, Emily proceeds to open the door, but at the exact time, the sloth stabs Mayflower from behind. Despite the injury, Mayflower fights back, somehow controlled to fend it off. Emily then opts to take the in-charge to the hospital, but the latter passes away before she can accomplish anything. Elsewhere, Emily's boyfriend Tyler is scanning her social media account when he discovers that her account name has been changed to Killer Sloth. As he scrolls down, he learns that the sloth has destroyed the girls and clicked selfies with them. Acknowledging that his girlfriend is in risk, he instantly heads to the sorority house. Upon arrival, he's relieved to discover her safe. As Emily clarifies the situation to him, Zenny shows up, disclosing that she managed to survive the electrocution. The trio then heads towards the exit, furthermore rescuing the hidden Brianna on their way. Momentarily after, they're attacked by Alpha, wounding Tyler at first. Zenny then takes out her sword and impales the creature. Despite this, it doesn't die and wounds Zenny rather. It then seizes her sword and charges towards the teens, but Madison displays up with a gun in the nick of time. She shoots it down and they flee the stage, inadvertently leaving Brianna behind. When Emily eventually realizes that they have abandoned their friend, she chooses to go back to save her. She soon reaches across the sloth, who now has taken Brianna hostage. Emily challenges the sloth to a duel, and it replies by charging towards her. Alpha driving onto Emily, wearing the presidential crown, and starts choking her. In this severe moment, she grabs the exact crown and pushes it down to its head, release herself. Subsequent this, the sloth takes a big leap to deliver a fatal blow, but Emily organizes to grab the gun and shoot it down, this time damaging it brutally. She again aims at it to end it off, but instance before that, it points at an image of Panama and calls it home. Listening this, Emily eventually does the right thing and transmits Alpha to its natural habitat. The stage then cuts to a year later, illustrating the 4 surviving girls of the sorority house. They have now begun a campaign to spread awareness about illegal poaching and saving creatures. All 4 of them are best buddies, with Emily maintaining the presidential title. In the conclusive scene, we see a guide who takes few tourists to the Panama jungle. There, they come across an immature girl, who is mesmerized by the sloth. Despite the guide's caution, the girl takes a selfie with it and chooses to take it home, hinting at the exact earlier process. And the end. Hi dudes, Climax 4 explained here. If you are a lover of similar content like this, take a look at my distinct videos, and if you love it, please break the like button and make sure you subscribe to the channel and hit the notification horn, catch sight of you in the successive video.